Hi everyone, welcome to Eden Secrets. So yesterday we made a white vanilla soap. Today we're making white cupcakes. We're using Rose Geranium essential oil, which is very expensive these days. It hasn't half gone up in price. It used to be about £30 for half a litre, which is a pound in weight. Now it's about £100 for half a litre. So it's gone crazy. I've got these gorgeous rosebuds. I just typed into Google Chrome red rosebuds. I mean, they are pinky red, but these are the ones that they used to make rose tea with. But they don't seem any different to the ones we usually buy, except that they do look a little bit better quality, but smell wise they smell just the same. So if you got rosebuds, make sure you keep them in a nice box, a box to keep all of the light out. Is there a company name? See, when I bought these, they haven't sent an invoice or anything, so I don't know what the company name was. But if you just look for something similar to this, obviously there's your cup with the rosebuds in, because it's obviously to be used for tea, and they weren't any more expensive than the rosebuds we usually buy. I'm hoping that there are not that many rose petals in there, because sometimes when you buy rosebuds there's a lot of rose petals and bits that you can't actually use, but it seems like these have been sorted, so they're all rosebuds in there. Obviously there's going to be a little bit of petal flesh on the bottom, but actually you can see there isn't any really. So that's a bit about the rosebuds. So it's going to be a white soap today. Now if you want to make a white soap, don't use extra virgin olive oil, because it's very green, the colour, and it'll make your soap yellow rather than white, which is what we saw in the vanilla soap that I made. It's a non-discolouring vanilla, which is great, but because I use the extra virgin olive oil, it's more of a creamy colour than a white. So I've just used coconut oil and sunflower oil. Actually, that's nice and light in colour, as a substitute to the olive oil. Now the great thing with rose geranium, it's really strong, so you don't need a great deal of it. So I'm putting about 25 mils in there, probably far too much, but they'll be nice and strong. It does have a bit of a yellowy colour, but it doesn't actually discolour your soap at all. I'm sick of getting colours that fragrances that discolour, because people don't like them. They don't like buying them. They don't like receiving them either, unless you make it like a brown soap, like my Sugar Queen soap. That is brown, so they know exactly what they're getting. But the Elf Sweat soap I did at Christmas, it discoloured, and it just doesn't look anywhere near as nice as it did when I made it. So I have actually ended up with, well, I'm just going to use it myself. I've given some to my sister. I don't even think I'll send it free with orders, because I think people might think, ugh. So I don't know, let me know what you think about that. So I had the craziest dream last night. I have crazy dreams, me. And last night I dreamt that the sun moved. it actually moved. And after it moved, all these aeroplanes were crashing onto the earth, but they were more like old warplanes. And then, this is crazy and I have no idea where it came from, but I dreamt Saddam Hussein came back to life. Hey, honestly, I've always had crazy dreams. Whether they mean anything, I don't know. So I'm just mixing up some more soap here. 4, 2, 3, 3, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. Now, Rose Geranium soap is nice with rubus tea in, but I'm not actually going to be using it today because the rubus tea does discolour the soap a little bit, and I want these to stay fairly true to being white. And the next soap will be a lemon coloured soap, and I'm just going to work my way through, as I said, work my way through all the pastel colours. So when the sun moved in the dream, it moved to the left, and it was a hazy day. And when I got up this morning, it was just hazy like in my dream. But the sun was high in the sky, yet in my dream it was low, as though it was it was setting. It wasn't like, the sky wasn't orange and red like it usually is when it's setting. I mean, I honestly, so I do have a lot of nightmares actually. But that wasn't, well, I guess you could say Saddam Hussein coming back to life would be a nightmare, wouldn't it? Just turn the heating off. So I've got the heating on because my mum's here and she's always cold. Right. That's setting up fairly quick. So we'll be able to pipe on that pretty soon. So I'm just going to get another mould. We might be able to get 29 out of it. Poured too much into this jug. Right, so we'll just let those set up. And we'll be back in a second to pipe on the top. I'll time it so we know how long it took for the bases to get ready before we pipe on there. So, tell me about your crazy dreams. What kind of crazy dreams do you have? One of the ones that I have all of the time is that I can fly. I know it's a really common dream. but I can never stay up there. I can get some real height to it, and I always end up coming right back down, maybe struggling to keep like a foot high off the ground when I'm flying. And I can breathe underwater. If anybody's trying to drown me, I can breathe. So I can play dead, which is something I do as well. John, he doesn't dream at all. And I think it's because he has really deep sleeps, where my sleeping is like, it's always been really light sleeping. It doesn't take a lot to wake me up. John says my snoring is off the scale these days. I used to complain about him snoring all the time. But I know I'm snoring. I can hear it even when I'm not asleep. I'm snoring away. And when I was a kid, I used to have this dream over and over and over again, where I would smooth sand out. I might have told you this before. I would smooth sand out with my hand, and then an aeroplane would come over and it would make it all, mess it up and make it all rippled again. And then I would smooth it out, and then the plane would come again and make it all ripply again. I mean, I had that for years, even into being an adult. Oh, and the worst one, it's not the worst dream I have, because I do have some awful nightmares, especially about people coming to get my family. That's the worst one. And John says, like, I squeal in my sleep at those ones, because I'm trying to stop people getting Declan or whoever it is. But I have this one. When I was a kid, I used to, like, instead of just having one stick of chewing gum, I would put 3 or 4 in. So I'd have loads of chewing gum in my mouth. And now I dream that I cannot get rid of all that chewing gum. Like, my tongue is chewing gum, and I'll pull at it and try and bite it off, snap it off, and I can never get rid of it. And I pull it that much. I pull it that much that I actually pull my stomach up out through my mouth. And I have to stop myself, because obviously I'm pulling all my inners out then. I don't know. It's absolutely crazy what the mind does when you're asleep. I know people say they all mean something, but I don't think they do really. I think it's just your brain working overtime. Have I had dreams that have come true? Yeah, actually I have. The earthquake at Mount Everest, I did dream about that, and I saw the word Everest in my dream. Things like that, I always write them down. So I've got at least one book full of dreams, and then I have a notebook next to my bed, so if there's anything significant, like last night with the sun and Saddam Hussein, so I can write them down so I don't forget them. So yeah, I have had a few dreams that have come true. Don't think I've quite got enough soap butter here. I need to do another 4, and I don't think, you know, I say that, don't I, and then before you know it, I've piped them. No, we're going to get one more out, and then we're going to be left with one. But again, that type of thing, I just put them in when people place orders. I just put them in with orders as an extra gift. So all we need to do now is put the rosebuds in. So I have to say, I think these roses are the most beautiful colour I've ever seen. So I've done most of them. The only thing with them is a lot of them are quite small. So I'll show you what I've done with the soaps that have smaller ones in. These are like a medium size that I'm using here. It's a beautiful colour, and they remind me of the rosebuds that Ariane from La Fille de la Mer, they grow where she lives, and she goes out and picks them and she dries them herself. Hers are maybe a little bit pinker, where these are more reddy pink. But yeah, the colour is just gorgeous. And instead of boring you, showing every single one that I've done most of them. And they look so pretty against the white. And that's what the rosebuds look like. So the ones where we have bigger rosebuds, like the ones at the back here, I've just put less in. And then the smaller ones, like here, I've put more around there. Some of them have got like 6 or 7 on, and some have only got 5 on. It just makes it, if you're using the smaller ones, it looks prettier if you put a lot more of those buds on there. Right, so we'll get these unmoulded. I think I forgot to tell you that the bases, Rose Geranium Essential Oil, does move very fast in soap. It was only about 3 or 4 minutes before the topping was ready to pipe on. The bases were set in 3 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, if that. So yeah, sorry I forgot to tell you that part.